Welcome to Nasha's Art. A blank canvas can be quite intimidating, so I'd like to share 3 different abstract painting techniques that I use to get started, to get myself out of artist block mode and into creativity mode. The first technique uses acrylic paints and combines the unpredictability of alcohol inks with that, which really is great in getting you out of your control freak zone and into a more fluid form. For this project I'm using Picasso alcohol inks, which come in a wonderful array of gorgeous colours in little bottles, and I'm using any old acrylic paints that I can get my hands on. For this project it's more about exploring and freeing up my style rather than creating something expensive with the best equipment I have. I have an array of brushes, fat and thin, and a palette knife, and I'm working on just a small little stretch canvas. Because I just want to get going and not plan too much, I put blobs of my favourite darker colours around the edge of the canvas. I do know that I want to create some sort of vignette around the edge and make the centre my focal point. I'm going to use a brush or a palette knife, you can choose whichever you feel more comfortable with, to then swirl that paint around to get started and get going, making sure that your darker edges are covered with the darker coloured paints. I always like to make sure I just paint the edges of my canvas so that I don't have to come back and mix and match colours. I just get the edges done straight off. I love this technique because there's not too much planning involved. You kind of just get going and get involved and get into the paint. And that, for when you've got a bit of artist block or you're feeling a bit under creative, it's nice to just get your hands dirty. Just before I get to the exciting alcohol ink bit, I'm adding a little bit more dark to the vignette look so that the edges of the canvas kind of frame what's going to happen in the middle. Once I've got that on, it's time to get the most exciting bit out, which is the alcohol inks. Now, the best thing about using alcohol inks on top of acrylics is that the acrylics are waterproof, which means that your alcohol inks will flow freely across the canvas, as you can see here. I don't plan this bit. I like to just explore the colours, see what they do, add them on. Sometimes I will wiggle a canvas around to mix them. Sometimes I just let them free flow as they are where I've added them. This process is very intuitive. It's about you, how you feel, and also the kind of unpredictability of not necessarily knowing what the alcohol inks will do on the canvas. And that in itself can be very creative. My favourite little tip is the use of the white alcohol ink. There's something about it that kind of adds depth and texture that is sort of unexpected. In this particular pack of alcohol inks, I've got 2 types of white. I've got a low intensity white and a high intensity white, and they both are absolute joys to work with, especially when you mix them with the other inks. You can see here I'm working in with different colours. I'm making sure that the centre of the piece is lighter, so I've worked in my lighter alcohol inks towards the centre, and I'm bringing in a kind of spiraler shape to, I guess, bring the eye around the piece. Here I've mixed a bit more acrylic paint on top. I'm adding more into that spiral shape, and I'm going to work on top of this wet acrylic paint with more of the alcohol inks. With alcohol inks, it is important to note that they're not light safe. That means that if they are exposed to light for a certain amount of time, they will begin to fade. So what I usually do is when I finish these little pieces, I still make sure that I varnish them at the end using something like Liquitex acrylic varnish. I do several layers, and that makes sure that it seals in the alcohol ink so that they don't fade over time. This method has worked really well for me in the past, and I would definitely recommend doing that to preserve the colour in the piece. Using jet black permanent ink, I love creating other layers on top of my painting. For me, this is also an incredibly freeing process because I don't think too much about where I put these calligraphic lines. It's particularly fun just working straight from your shoulders rather than sort of trying to do a careful, controlled line. The only thing that I really focus on is getting a varied line that has a thick and thin element to it. The next technique is probably great done on a larger piece of board or canvas, and it involves big blobs of paint, a brayer, large brushes, and a very free hand, building up layers of paint as you go. The important thing here for me is to cover that intimidating white canvas. So with a couple of select colours, use blobs of paint and your roller or your brayer to basically create that simple base layer and cover that canvas. Some of these little elements that we create now will peek through our following layers, but many will be hidden. I use a large wide brush here. You could use a palette knife, and you can add more colour. You can decide whether you want to bring out your central part or the edges, or darken your edges like a sort of vignette. All this is up to you as you go on, and create it as quite an intuitive kind of process. I always think it's important to note that if you are arting on a budget, there are ways to do this without having to break the bank. For example, instead of using canvas, you could use a bit of cardboard or an old spare bit of wood, and there are quite affordable packs of student-grade acrylic paints that can be used to explore your creativity and get your creative juices going. Your brayer is usually used for printmaking, and it's quite a precious resource, so make sure you wash off that acrylic paint so that it doesn't stick to it, and when you then use it for printing later on, it creates weird textures that you don't want. This bit's my favourite because you can be as spontaneous as you like. You can add a little bit of acrylic paint to a spray bottle with a small amount of water to make your very own spray paints. You can mix and match colours as you like, just as you would normally mix in a palette. And what's great about this is you can use the spray bottle and angle it in different directions to get a variety of little speckles on the canvas. It's a great way to really challenge your sense of wanting to control your piece of artwork. You will have to be a little bit patient because it takes a little bit of time for the spray paint to dry. But what I love is all these little unpredictable details. Little splurges where splats of paint layer over textured areas where the brayer left its mark previously. It's an exciting way of working. Once I've built up the layers sufficiently on the canvas, I like to use mark making tools or homemade brushes or even bits of bark to create patterns over the top in black. Similar to the process that I did previously in the first technique I showed you. For me, this adds interest and intrigue by using the black ink over the top. The unplanned mark making element also is very enjoyable and relaxing to do. You can see me manipulating the end of the brush so that it isn't a perfect mop, but more has little bits sticking out that adds the ink in unexpected places. This is something you can use your own intuition for and kind of just enjoy the process. The third technique I'm going to show you links into this piece here. It uses a variety of mark making tools to texturize the paint in different ways. This third technique, I've decided to do it on a piece of painted wood. I've gessoed it to give it a base for my colours to stand out on, and I'm adding blobs of paint just as before and using different tools to manipulate the paint across the board. This is a sort of squeegee. You can buy a variety of different squeegees, kidneys from paint stores, but you could also just use plastic tools that you find or things from the kitchen that you repurpose, like this cake mixer. I've repurposed it so that it acts like a squeegee, and it's got a lovely soft silicone texture that kind of gently drags the paint across the surface. There are lots of different shaped palette knives that give great texture. I'm working here in a mixture of colours, and part of the palette knife has the darker colour on it and the tip of the palette knife has the lighter colour, or the other way around, and that way I can work two textures in at once rather than just one. When I'm creating these pieces, I tend to think of things that inspire me. I don't always work from a picture, because there are times where when you see a picture that is very difficult to capture, it almost brings your artist block back. But I am thinking of aerial shots of places that I've seen in certain countries, and I'm also thinking of underwater themes as well, and I'm kind of merging these two ideas in my mind and just using it to gently inform my artwork. The use of the sponge is great because it gives you a different texture altogether, and it's nice for blending in a very rough sort of way. I like using the sponge to give that background rough sort of edge that I can then work over with other colours. I'm using an angle brush to apply the yellow ochre to the edges of the sponge texturing that I just put on. And I quite like the idea that the angle brush, when held slightly at an angle itself, can give quite unpredictable marks that you can use to show impressions of shapes, fish, birds flying, that sort of thing. Here I'm using a bit of tree bark to apply the bright orangey vermilion red. The end of the pen with a circular shape on it serves as another way to add more patterns in. And as you can see, you could just enjoy building up layers, one on top the other, with different shapes and surfaces that bring more texture to the piece. I hope you've loved this tutorial and found something inspirational or at least useful in the techniques that I've shown. Do leave a comment in the comments below, and if you want to know how to make those mark making brushes, I've got a great tutorial which I'll put in the description below and I'll also put above. Do check out my artwork on Instagram and Facebook at Nash Henkel Art. Thanks so much for watching.